How are you on this absolutely fantastic day? We're going to start to talk about multiplication. We're going to be talking about multiplication, the basics today. Kind of the, not like basics like flashcard basics. We're going to get a little more into it than that. But we're going to be in the very near future, you're going to be seeing multiplication problems that look like this, right? Like 2 digits on top, 1 digit on the bottom. So this is not basic multiplication stuff, right? This gets a little more complicated. So from there, we'll start with stuff like this, like 34 times 7. And then we'll get into a slightly larger number on the top. Yeah, like this, 378 times 6. And then eventually we'll work our way up to 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication. So all this is coming soon. It's coming just around the corner, but not today. Today, I really think we need to talk about sort of some, like I said, some more foundational stuff before we get into that. So the two things you're going to need. You're going to need your notebook, okay? Here's mine. And you're going to need a green book, right? Module 3 green book, which we've been doing. So make sure you have both of those things right now before you continue with the video. I'll wait. Welcome back. So let's open up our notebook to the next Fresh Clean page. And here's the thing. I don't want you to take notes yet in your notebook. I will let you know when we do. So in fact, just to show you that I don't want you to take notes in your notebook yet, the first few things I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put on an index card. That way you know Mr. Brown does not want you to write this first stuff in your notebook. This is just going to be information for you to know. Okay, so today's lesson is multiplying by tens or 100s or 1000s and kind of some variations of that. Okay, so the basics, the most simple one I can possibly give you is something like a 5 times 10. Now this is a multiplication fact card. You would see this in the back of a multiplication card a million different times, right? And so we probably just know by this point automatically that it's 50. Right? And if I were to say 7 times 10, so this is multiplying by tens, you'd probably know that it was, you guessed it, 70. Now, how do we know what's the rule for this, you might ask? Well, you just take the original number and you add a 0 after it. So if this is a 3, you add a 3 and then put a 0 after it. And again, I want to be clear about this. You're not writing this in your notebook. This is just for you to know, okay? So we know this, right? Mr. Brown, come on. We know this. Well, what if we expand it up a little bit and we go up to the 100s, multiplying by 100? Does that rule essentially still exist? Yeah, it kind of does actually, because 5 times 100 is the same idea. You take your 5 and instead of adding 1 0, you guessed it, you add 2, right? So it's a 5 with 2 zeros. And again, same thing if it was 8 times 100, you get the idea, right? It's 8 with 2 zeros. What about multiplying by 1,000? Would that same idea? Yes, absolutely. Okay, 4 times 1,000, you just take a 4 and you add 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros, and it becomes 4,000. And it's the same for whatever. 9 times 1,000, it'll be the same way. You guessed it, 9,000. You just take these 3 zeros and you slap them over there. Now, that's kind of a rule-based thing. If you want to see like what that looks like in a different form, I can show you this, okay? And hopefully we can get a good little view of this, okay? Oh, we remember the dots and the dashes and the moving. So this is what 3 times 10 would look like, right? 3 ones, and it gets moved over to the tens place. 3 ones times 10 is 3 tens. Then if we move down here a little bit, okay, 3 times 100 would look like this. Look, it goes all the way over to the 100 spot. 3 ones times 100, 300s, and of course down here we have the thousands, right? 3 ones times, it goes, whoa, all the way over there. Okay, so 3 ones times 1,000 equals 3,000s or 3,000s. Again, it's kind of basic stuff. Now, I want you to get ready because we're actually going to write stuff in our notebook right now. All right, we're actually going to do stuff right here. So in your notebook, next Fresh Clean page, right? Now we're going to get crack-a-lackin'. Okay. We're going to take this idea and we're going to expand it, because now we're going to be doing, instead of just doing times 10, we're going to do something like a 6. Instead of doing 6 times 10, we're going to do 6 times a multiple of 10. Yes, I want you to write this down. From this point forward, write everything down that I'm writing. Okay? The good news is this. It's still the same basic idea as multiplying 6 times 10. Okay? Except now, instead of 6 times 1 and add a 0 to it, it's 6 times 7 and add a 0 to it. 7 to 6 is hopping in the zoo. How many are there? 42. And then you just put a 0 after it. Okay? So that's the good news about this, is that it's the same basic idea as before. We just look at, there's a hidden basic multiplication fact, a flashcard fact, but instead of a 7, it's a 70. And you take this little 0, I don't know, this is too small for me to do a little smiley face, and you just add the 0. Well, Mr. Brown, would it work the same way if one of them was 100? It sure would. What if it was 600 times 6? Yes. Look for the hidden basic multiplication fact, 6 times 6 that lives inside of it. Okay? 6 times 6 is 36. How many zeros do I add? You guessed it, 1, 2. 1, 2. And of course, don't forget the comma. Mr. Brown, what about if it was what if one of them was 1,000? Would it still work? It sure would. 8 times, not 6, not 60, not 6,000. And it would work the same darn way. Look for the hidden basic multiplication fact, and it's not that hidden, let's be honest. It's not really that hard to find. It's just 8 times 6 that lives within it. 8 times 6, or 6 times 8, is 48. Okay. Now, for the purposes of when I have you do these independently later, you are absolutely welcome to use a multiplication chart, because I'm not quizzing you today on how well you know your multiplication facts. I'm quizzing you today on whether you know how to multiply by hundreds and thousands and things like that. Okay. Oh, and don't forget the 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Armed with this knowledge, I would like you at this time to take your green book, and I would like you to tear out page 28. It might be, you might see the number 27 first, but we're not doing this side. So I want you to take a minute, find page number 28, and tear it out. I'll wait. Hi, welcome back. Now, as I said, we are respectfully not going to do side 27. We're not going to do side 27, so gently cross it out. I am more interested in these bad boys right here, which are on page 28. Okay? So let's do these together, at least some of them. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing as we did before, right? And again, for right now, I'll help you, and then the last ones you do yourself, you are more than welcome to get a multiplication chart and help you to do with the basic facts if you're not sure of them. So let's go for it. We'll do some together, and then I'll tell you to do the rest on your own. So for this first example, 2 times 7 is the basic. It's the basic fact right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 times 7 is 14, and we're going to add 1 0 to it. Okay? 2 times 7 is 14, only 1 0. So we get the idea, right? Technically, I'm sorry about that. Technically, if I wanted to be a fancy guy about it for something like this, I would probably say 2 tens times 7 equals 14 tens. Like 2 tens times 7 equals 14 tens, which is, 140, right? So it'll be like 2 tens times 7, 14 tens, if I want to be a fancy about it, which maybe I do want to be a fancy about it. The next one is 3 times 60. 3 times 60 has a hidden fact of 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18, and we add that right there, add the 0. Okay? Again, if I wanted to be fancy about it, I'd say 3 times 6 tens gives me 18 tens, or 180. 3 times 4 is the next hidden multiplication fact, which is 12. How many zeros do I add to it? Oh, this is easy, Mr. Brown. Well, it's easy if you know your basic multiplication facts, and if you don't, you can use a chart. 2 times 8 is 16, and adding 2 zeros, don't forget the comma. So again, if I wanted to be fancy pants, 2 times 8 hundreds equals, you know what I'm saying, 16 hundreds or 1,600. The rest of these you're going to do on your own. You're going to find the basic multiplication fact. You are going to either using your knowledge of the facts or a multiplication chart, you are going to do, and then add the appropriate amount of zeros. And no, you don't even have to do example number 6 underneath there. I just want you to do these. You will be giving this to the adult in the room when you are done. Okay, when you are done. So there's a reason. We're going to use this bottom part of the section for something else. Ooh, it's coming up. I don't want to spoil it for what it is. No spoilers. But this bottom part is going to be used for something else. And no, it's not to draw a picture. I'm sorry to say. Okay. So pause the video and do this. Then we've still got more to do, folks. So don't go away. Okay. Come back to me after this because there's more going on. So pause it. Welcome back. I'm assuming that you've already done all of these examples. Good job, because otherwise you shouldn't be watching this part of the video. Okay, so here we go. We're going to draw a little picture in our notes of what, let's say what 4 times 20 would look like using something called an area model. Now, this is kind of a little bit unusual, so bear with me. Okay, this is called an area model. And this is a square, of course, 10 by 10. Okay, and this is so what we're going to do here is we're going to make this is a 10 times 10, and this is a 10. We know how area, right? You know, area is length times. You know what I'm saying? It's length times width. So this one right here is equal to what? What's the area of this one? Well, it's 100. Right? It's 100. So we're going to draw a total of, here's some more, here's some more. Please be more neat than Mr. Brown is being. And here's some more. So this is called an area model because every one of these, if we follow the length times width, every one of this is equal to 100. And there's 4 going down, and there's 2 going across. 4 tens and 2 tens. Does that make sense? 4 times 2 is 8 before, you know what I'm saying, right? So because we're dealing with tens here. So that's why every one of these is tens. 10 times 10, every one of these is 100. And that's why, this is just, folks, what can I tell you? This is just another way of showing what the multiplication looks like in a different way. Okay? It's just another way of showing what it looks like in a different way. So you know what I'm saying. Don't worry about it too much. It's just, oh shoot, this is 40 times 20. Oh my God, I knew this wasn't making sense. It's 40 times 20. Because I'm thinking, this is 40 and this is 20. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for remembering that, Mr. Brown. Otherwise, everyone will be all sorts of confused because I'm like, 4 times, oh my gosh, Mr. Brown, come on, have some more coffee. So this makes way more sense now. It's 40 and 20. 10, 20, 30, but oh, Mr. Brown, thank goodness. And of course, if you counted up all the hundreds, it'll be 800. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad. Okay, here's where we're at. You have one more thing to do for me, and then I'll leave you alone, okay? And here's what it is. I want you to go back to the bottom blank part of this paper right here. I have some additional examples for you to do, okay? And these additional examples are kind of going to be, they're going to be sort of similar to the ones you already did, except for the fact that now both of them are going to be multiples of 10. So for example, 40 times 40. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16, and adding not 1 0, but 2. So it's really just an extension of what we already did. You see what I'm saying? For example, 50 times 30. 5 times 3 is 15. And then add 2 zeros. This one and that one. I mean, if you think about it, it's not really all that different than what we were already doing. 70 times, I don't know, 20. 7 times 2, find the hidden multiplication fact. 7 times 2 is 14. Add the 2 zeros. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what more do you want from me? So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of examples like this, where you find the hidden multiplication and then add the 2 zeros, and I want you to put them here at the, oops, I'm sorry, here at the bottom. Okay, let me show you what that is here. So I'm going to show you where that is. And where are these? They're right here. Yep, I want you to do all of these. And then I'll leave you alone. So at the bottom of that paper where you scribbled out the word problem, underneath there, I want you to copy all 12 of these. You can do it. It's fine. You're doing good. Okay? And then I want you to solve. Find the hidden multiplication, like 4 times 8. Use your multiplication chart. And then I am going to hang up on this person. Oh, they're not going to be happy with me. And so that's it. Okay? That's it. So after you do this and then hand this piece of paper, page 28, into it. Folks, have a wonderfully fantastic day. I'm going to answer the phone. All right, guys. Bye-bye.